The world was weary and searching for hope. People longed for something greater, for healing, peace, and meaning beyond the noise of everyday life. Then, in a small corner of Galilee, a man appeared who spoke like no other. His name was Jesus, a humble carpenter whose words carried power and peace. Everywhere he went, crowds followed. The sick came for healing, the hungry came for bread, and the lost came for light. But what they witnessed went beyond anything they could have imagined. His miracles were not mere acts of wonder, they were glimpses of heaven breaking into the world. One evening, Jesus and his disciples climbed into a small wooden boat to cross the Sea of Galilee. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the water shimmered with quiet calm. But as night fell, the wind began to howl. Waves rose high, crashing against the boat. The disciples, seasoned fishermen, fought desperately to keep it steady. The storm raged so violently that they feared for their lives. And through the thunder and the chaos, Jesus slept, his head resting on a cushion, calm and unmoved. Terrified, they shook him awake. "Teacher, don't you care that we're perishing?" they cried. Jesus stood, his eyes steady in the darkness. He looked out over the raging sea and spoke 3 simple words: "Peace, be still." And suddenly, silence. The wind stopped. The sea grew calm. The storm obeyed his voice. The disciples could only stare in awe. "Who is this man?" they whispered, "that even the wind and waves obey him?" That night, they realized something profound, that even when fear surrounds us and the storm seems endless, peace is never far when he is near. The same voice that calmed the sea can still calm the storms within us. Not long after, another miracle unfolded on a quiet hillside by the lake. A crowd had gathered to hear Jesus speak. They listened from sunrise to sunset, drawn by his words of mercy and hope. But as evening approached, hunger set in. Over 5,000 men were there, not counting the women and children. The disciples looked around helplessly. "There's no food here," one said. "Even half a year's wages wouldn't buy enough bread for everyone." Then a small boy stepped forward, holding a basket. Inside were 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish, barely enough for one family. Yet he offered it willingly. Jesus took the food, looked up to heaven, and gave thanks. Then he began to break the bread and divide the fish. As the disciples passed the food through the crowd, something extraordinary happened. It never ran out. Basket after basket was filled and refilled until everyone had eaten their fill. When it was over, they gathered 12 baskets of leftovers, more than what they had begun with. The people were astonished. From one boy's simple gift came abundance for thousands. That moment was a reminder that even the smallest offering becomes more than enough in the hands of God. Sometimes faith begins with simply giving what little you have and trusting Him to do the rest. Later that night, after the miracle of the loaves and fish, Jesus sent His disciples ahead of Him in a boat while He went alone to pray. The lake was calm at first, but as the night deepened, the wind returned, fierce and cold. The disciples strained against the oars, their hands blistered, their eyes heavy with exhaustion. Suddenly, through the mist and moonlight, they saw something moving across the water, a figure walking on the waves. Their hearts raced in fear. "It's a ghost!" they cried out. But then, a voice called through the wind, steady, familiar, and full of peace. "Take courage," Jesus said. "It is I. Don't be afraid." Peter, always the bold one, shouted back, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus said one word, "Come." Peter stepped out of the boat, his feet trembling on the surface. The water held him. Step by step, he walked toward Jesus. But as he glanced at the wind and the waves, fear began to rise. He started to sink. "Lord, save me!" he cried. Immediately, Jesus reached out and caught him. "You of little faith," he said gently, "why did you doubt?" Together they climbed back into the boat, and at once the wind stopped. The disciples fell to their knees, their eyes wide with wonder. "Truly," they said, "you are the Son of God." That night, they learned that faith is not the absence of fear. It's the courage to step out and trust Him, even when the waves are high. And even when we falter, His hand is always there to pull us back up. Each of these moments, the calming of the storm, the feeding of the thousands, the walking on the water, reveals a different side of who Jesus is. When he spoke to the wind, he showed his authority over chaos. When he multiplied the bread, he showed his compassion for human need. And when he walked upon the waves, he showed his power over fear and doubt. His miracles were never for show. They were signs, whispers of a kingdom where suffering ends, hunger fades, and every storm gives way to peace. Jesus' miracles remind us that faith isn't about seeing power, it's about trusting love. The same power that calmed the sea still speaks calm into anxious hearts. The same compassion that fed the multitude still fills empty souls. And the same hand that lifted Peter still reaches for anyone sinking under the weight of fear. He calmed the storm, he fed the hungry, he walked on the water, and through every miracle, he revealed the heart of God, not distant, not unreachable, but near, deeply near. Even now, he whispers the same promise to those who believe. Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel